So next we're going to move into Ring of Honor and SmackDown. There was no Ring of Honor this week. They are doing their next setting of taping, so Ring of Honor will take a little while. However, I will give you some Ring of Honor news. EC3 has officially signed a contract with Ring of Honor.
Good for you,
bud. He now has a home. So on our next setting of tapings, and apparently he's going to be backing Mike Bennett, probably.
Good. Absolutely good.
So,
and you know what? Those are two guys who can get on there and talk about how they got screwed at the big show and how they're better than half the people on the roster and that they have a legitimate gripe of misuse on their point. Could you imagine what EC3 and like Cesaro would look like right now?
Oh, wow. I was actually watching, I was just Googling, just doing some fun stuff on the internet the other day, and I was watching 15 Minutes of Gold with R-Truth. It's just like all of R-Truth. And there was the one where they're in the elevator together.
Yes.
And
this is on the YouTube. Also has one on mine. It's called 9.5 Minutes of R-Truth being a national treasure.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And so this is a video that's trending very heavily on YouTube right now.
And the R-Truth, like everyone's just supposed to be trying to be super serious, and EC3 at one point goes, "I don't give a shit, Mark."
Yeah. R-Truth is like, I'm in good with Papa Vince, and I'm good. You know, he's 54 years old or something. You know.
But EC3 just busting up was great.
Yeah, EC3 just losing is great. All right, so SmackDown, February 26, 2021.
I watched the show.
Oh, did you?
However, and I only wrote a couple notes because I was watching the show while I was putting out content.
Okay, all right, so
I watched it a couple hours ago.
Fill in the gaps, and we'll kind of knock it down. Okay.
So my first comment is, why does Roman always have to start the show?
Because he's the head of the table. Because, as you pointed out, who eats first? The head of the table eats first. Of course Roman's going to be the first guy out for it. Okay. Who else are they going to have as the first guy out at this point? Edge?
We'll get to that. Yeah.
Okay, so Roman comes out. I cannot give an accurate count of the walk time because they cut away in the middle of his walk down to recap the Elimination Chamber for the SmackDown match. Yes. I'm going to estimate it was about 4 minutes and 40 seconds to get Roman into the ring. Okay? Now,
than usual.
I want to take a moment and take a step back and apologize to you last week. I said that I was not a fan of the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match, and I thought it was fairly weak and slow.
Okay.
The recap of this, and a little bit of my rewatching of our show and talking about it, I would like to change my position and say that it was actually the better of the two completely, and we also didn't talk about the fact that they did the same finish twice.
Ish.
So, but yes, I was wrong. DB got the most exciting ass whooping of the year. Maybe the decade, according to Roman. That was a great line. Mm-hmm. I liked it. Roman's lines were good on this. Roman basically says to Edge he needs to back out of the match, or I guess he's going to kill him and his whole family.
Okay. Now,
let's talk about this and the weird dichotomy of why they're telling Roman to behave one way and then telling him to behave a different way.
What did he say 2 weeks ago?
He said, you need to pick me. I am the only choice. Now he's telling Ed, I think what he was... I don't... So yes, I agree.
Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't crazy.
You are not 100%... You're not crazy. I'm not 100% sure what this was supposed to be. I don't understand why Roman did this, because Roman...
Why are you insulting me by not picking me?
I think what they were trying to say was that Roman feels that there was a better way to conduct business, because he says essentially goes...
Yeah, you pointed at the sign.
He says, you come down and you spear me and then you point at the sign? Like, what is that about? You know,
it's what you do.
I really don't know. Okay, so, yes. And I see we're running a little bit late on that, but yes, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, this was a terrible line to feed Roman, and I don't know why he's doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only thing I can say is that maybe what this is a little bit old school heelish of kind of...
You're asking for it, but not ask for it.
Yeah, kind of like that, like Flair would do something like that,
Yeah, oh yeah, okay.
Okay, so then out comes Daniel Bryan to address Roman for destroying him. He says the champ shouldn't be the second match. Daniel Bryan mind-fucked Roman Reigns.
Oh, it's so good.
So essentially, his promo is, "You're right. You were on the show, and you defended your title. You defended your title against a former 5-time world champion,
and you destroyed him."
Yeah, but I almost got you. And it was the second match. If you're the head of the table, aren't you supposed to be the main event? Wouldn't it be a better main event if you could repeat that success against me?
And give me time?
Fastlane and give me time? Which I do agree with Cornette. They should have done like a 30-minute break in between of the matches and put like the women's match on in between of that and then came back with Bryan and maybe had a little bit longer of a thing. But I get the idea they wanted Roman to be heelish and just come down and say, and they wanted Bryan to be fighting, which is why I said it should have been Cesaro.
Yeah.
It really should have been Cesaro because he already had the knee injury from Seth. He already went the distance and everything.
Agreed.
I think it should have been Cesaro. But using Daniel Bryan in this position is not bad because he did cut that great promo of essentially saying, Roman, you need to do... You're great. The reason people are saying all this bad stuff about you is because it's just misconception. Let's prove them wrong and let's do it again.
Yeah.
And then Jay gets on the mic. And Jay just, I wrote down, is he on drugs? Because he grabs the mic and he's like, what you doing, DB? We ain't got nothing to do with you, Oos. You got a problem? Let me tell you what the problem is, Oos.
So good. It was so good.
I don't know. Is he on drugs? And then Daniel Bryan just gets waylaid by Jay.
Yeah.
Okay. Backstage, Adam and Sonya talk about absolutely nothing. They're talking about nothing. And then Edge comes in and he says, yeah, we got to talk.
Yeah.
Now,
and then
did I miss some matches here? Because my recap immediately goes back to Jay and Roman talking about Daniel Bryan.
Nope.
So they literally went from this to Roman and them backstage again. And Roman tells Jay that Daniel Bryan needs to be handled.
Well, no, because what happened was...
Well, no, because
Jay says, man, I'm sorry. I stepped out of line.
Yeah.
I stepped out of line. I know you've told me not to do that. And he goes, no. You did fine.
As long as you can take care of it.
Yeah, now handle it.
Now handle it. Okay, which is fine.
Then we go immediately back to we need to talk, which is like, that was weird.
Okay, so I thought there would have been a match in here. My Hulu just cut it up, right? So apparently Edge and Daniel Bryan were going to have a tag match at Fastlane. I was not aware that this was announced anywhere.
Like, did that ever get announced anywhere that I didn't see?
It just got false booked to be debooked falsely, I guess, against Roman and Jay. But now since Daniel Bryan has apparently issued a challenge, they are going to switch it. And Edge is confused and upset because Vince apparently rewrote the show without telling him. That's how I feel that this played out. Is Vince decided to rewrite SmackDown and didn't bother to tell anybody? Because I was super confused myself about this as much as Edge was. Okay. This is going to be a common theme throughout the next two shows that we discuss, of things just being randomly talked about or said that don't connect to any dots, right? Match 1. Are you at match 1?
Yep.
Ray and Dom versus Otis and Chad. Gable uses his powers of the pre-tape to recap the beatdown from last week. Corey Graves calls Otis retarded, basically. I don't remember the exact words, and I apologize for using that word for anyone, but he basically, I forget the phrase that he said, but he basically called him mentally deficient, which is the clinical term.
Yes.
I wrote down, what the fuck? And then I wrote down, oh, this is his new character. He's apparently the gigantic, confused, mentally deficient of Mice and Men character. Like, I don't get what the hell all of a sudden this... What did Otis do that made Vince sour on him so much from going from... This guy was doing everything. He had...
maybe he had a little too... Maybe he was... maybe Vince didn't like that Mandy Rose liked him back. I don't know.
What the hell happened to this guy?
I don't know.
And he's a legit shooter.
Right.
So he could probably fuck up most of your roster.
Yes. Well, he's now a heel.
And so, yes, he's now a completely confused, mentally deficient heel.
With Chad Gable's mental powers.
Yes. And apparently Ray got his nose, I believe, busted open at some point, and then he kept fucking with his mask. And I think that's actually what caused his nose to get busted with in the first place, because I hate Ray's relaxed mask that he wears to keep cool, because he got shot into the ropes and he was like messing with it, and I think Otis ran into him, and I think he popped him and busted his nose while he was trying to fix his mask.
Hey, you know who would look really good in AEW? Ray.
Oh, probably. So Ray calls himself the Gamote, the greatest mask of all time. I think the greatest mask of all time would probably be either Tiger Mask or Jushin Thunder Liger.
Yeah,
I don't think Ray should be
Liger.
I mean, granted, Ray's probably in the top 10.
Yeah.
No.
All right, so
now we get to something interesting.
Yes.
Apollo Crews has a new look, and it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I am a real African American. I am tired of pretending that I am not a king.
Okay.
Crews was born in Sacramento, California.
Crews, Segu Uha was born in, as you said, Connecticut.
He's born in Sam Crow.
Now, his father is of Nigerian. Uha is of Nigerian.
His father is originally from Vanderklay, local governmental area of Bruno State in the Mid-Belt region of Nigeria. He is also from Broome State, Nigeria.
His mother is from...
Yes, so he is of Nigerian descent. So he cuts this promo.
His sister is in the United States Army.
Yes, and she is currently stationed in San Antone. All right. So essentially he cuts this promo where he says, he references the thing that I kind of was weirded out by, where he was just angry black guy last week.
And
but
now
what
he
says is
angry prince. He's a Nigerian prince. He's the one who wants our money.
Well, no, the sad thing is, I'm thinking about this is, are they literally doing this because Coming to America 2 is going to debut on Amazon this week?
No, because Hulu and Amazon are...
But that's what I'm saying is, are the writers just like all of a sudden excited that Coming to America 2 is coming out? Oh. So they're doing this weird thing because
only if James Earl Jones comes out as his dad.
If they did this legitimately, which it is, because he is, but this, I thought his promo was fine. And I know some people said some bad things about it, but I really liked this. I said, I'm digging this.
I just couldn't get over the accent.
Well, hold on. That's why I want to get to it. So what's weird is that Crews basically says, everybody says you've changed. The problem is that nobody knows the real me. And this is the real me. This is where I come from. This is what my family is. This is who my great-grandfather was. My great-grandfather was a king. My great-grandfather was worshipped. My great-grandfather spent his days being draped in gold, living with his 5 wives. And he looks at the camera and goes, 5 wives? Can you believe that? Like, he cuts this great promo about my descendants are this, which it is,
right?
He's saying, my ancestors, because he is a descendant, my ancestors are this, my line is this. I'm tired of pretending that I'm not royalty, that I'm not a king, because I am. And then all of a sudden he starts talking with this fake African accent about what my grandfather said is if they challenge you, you give them the ski. And I don't know what the hell the point of his... Because he went from talking like a SoCal boy to having this weird fake African accent.
So apparently, part of his Paul Heyman commented on Cruz's attempts to win the title, commenting he's a big nice guy, he's holding him back.
Yes, which is the same thing he said about Big E and everything. So essentially, Paul basically said anytime that he gets a guy on there, he basically says, "You're too nice, you need to be angry."
So on Wikipedia, they are calling this the real African American persona.
Okay. I mean, he did say it. He did say it. And he has used this style of character before, which is fine. And Moving on, yes. So Crews goes to cut this fake African accent promo where he talks about give them the steel, because he says he gave Big E the steel,
Yeah.
And by the way, the announce team made sure to use that phrase about 7 times in the match. Mm-hmm. And then his promo gets cut short because Shin gets his full entrance. Nope, never mind. Crews runs in and starts beating the shit out of him. Shin almost dies on a suplex. The announce team cover for this. Winner Crews. I thought this was 2.5 stars.
It was a good match.
Crews is looking awesome.
Nakamura can carry a match too.
Nakamura is looking fine. Apparently, while we talk about Nakamura, there was a tweet that was sent out.
Couple of them.
Where somebody said, Nakamura's happy and he's this and this and this, and
well,
blah, blah, blah. And then Nakamura responded with, who says I'm happy?
Yeah, well, first somebody said, Nakamura isn't happy.
Yeah.
Nakamura is counting his days till his contract's over. And then the next guy's like, no, that's not true. And then Nakamura's like, who said I'm happy? Don't believe anything unless you hear it from me.
Yes. Which is funny because on his Instagram account, which I checked out, he did a promo where he talked about Apollo is going to get his ass kicked by Shinsuke. And, more importantly, he did the old school Shinsuke maneuver at the end of it, which made me believe, ooh, are we going to get the King of Strong style back? I would love that too. And this is the outfit that I wanted him in, the shirtless with the band and everything.
Okay.
Around. That's the outfit I like him in.
Okay.
Okay. So backstage, Paul and Roman plot evil things. Match 3, Liv Morgan versus Tamina.
This match blew my mind.
I'm over Tamina and the natty shit. The Riot Squad are buried 1,000% now. Liv looked great. Tamina ran out of gas about halfway through the match. 1.5 stars. Fuck this shit. Liv looked great. Everything sucks.
Huh. I wrote, Tamina has never looked so good. I've never...
Why? Because Liv Morgan bumped like a motherfucker for her?
Hey, Tamina...
She couldn't breathe at the end of it. She could barely stand upright.
I realize that, but Tamina has always been the... And I think even the announcer said, Old Faithful. She's tired of being the faithful one. The one. Tamina has a history ever since she's been there. And maybe it's because of her father, maybe it's not. But they only use Tamina when they're one woman short on the roster.
That's true.
And she actually gave... And she's always in a tag match.
Because she can't go.
She went good enough. And I don't know...
How long was this? 2.5 minutes?
They didn't track the timing on this one. I'm sorry. But I will say, Natty looked pretty. She looked nice.
Because she didn't have her cheekbones painted up here on her face like she always does every
I don't know. And I like her new outfit, too. I've always been a fan of yes, Liv Morgan got buried.
Liv Morgan was fucking buried, and she bumped like hell for her. Ruby Riott got scared and ran away at one point from Tamina, which I don't understand.
I don't understand what they're doing to the Riot.
They buried the Riot Squad.
They do this with the Riot Squad.
I don't get why. You know, because they only pay them fucking $60,000 a year. That's why. You know,
because Vince McMahon's like, I like them. I don't like them. I like them. I don't like them.
I'm gonna buy a Liv Morgan shirt. 1, I like it because it looks cool, and 2, if anything I can do to help her get noticed at this point, you know what? Go have your business with Bo Dallas, where you're doing your realty firm or something like that they set up for it. I didn't like this shit.
I can't believe it.
Segment. Adam and Sonya like Bianca. They really like Bianca. It's now time for her to pick.
Who thought she was going to pick Asuka? Who? Anyone? No.
So can we stop for 1 second and continue to talk about the fact that they basically do like, not Price is Right, but they do like the... What was the old game show? You know, do you want door number 3, door number 2, or door number 1 for your prize?
Let's make a deal.
Okay, so they were doing Let's Make a Deal. Oh my God, they were. They straight up ripped off Let's Make a Deal because they had video packages about how cool Asuka and how cool Sasha is, right?
But we didn't have how cool Io Shirai was.
No Io Shirai. Io Shirai has never once been in the conversation mentioned for Bianca Belair to challenge, but Edge showed up on NXT and made me believe that it was going to be Finn and Edge at WrestleMania because he said, I've never had that.
And last year, Charlotte went to NXT.
So this would have been fine if they would have at least talked about it and put Io Shirai on a network where they're drawing 2.4 million people. Moving on. She goes, my choice is clear. And then Reggie's music hits. And Reggie comes out. And Reggie says the only thing that she needs to do is pick Sasha, but she's not going to beat Sasha. And then out comes Sasha. She's awful. She cuts a fucking heel promo because she can't do anything else.
Don't ever talk for me.
Oh my God. And
yes.
Okay. People.
The people everywhere.
I see some of the things on the online, okay? And people talk about how much they love Sasha.
The internets.
I do not understand what doing this when you talk makes people lose their shit for this girl.
Right, and she was like being giggly and cute.
She was awful. The best person in the ring talking was Reginald.
This is true.
And I love you, Bianca, but
you ain't lying.
They're producing you poorly. You were a great heel. You were a great heel in NXT. you're good as a babyface because you have this inspiring story, and they're producing you as this, I'm happy to be here, I'm an athlete kind of style that they're doing with it. And then Sasha with her.
Please. I looked at Dad because I was watching today. Dad came down about the time I was watching it. I go, I am so looking forward to her beating her ass. I've never liked Sasha Banks. There's nothing you can do to make me like Sasha
Bianca
Banks.
picks Sasha,
Yes.
naturally, okay? This was a month. This was literally a month of this shit to build up to her just picking the same person on the brand that she's on. Also, Asuka might not be able to go. Backstage, Zayn and Corbin hash it out. Match 4, Zayn and Corbin versus the Street Profits. The female ref is awful.
Yeah. Well, she was the replacement for the AEW referee that left.
The hunched female referee is awful. She's terrible.
This is the white one, right?
Yeah.
The
She is the
black one.
Yeah, the black girl is nice. She's fine. She works great. This girl is terrible. Get her off. She is so distracting. She's so bad. So Sammy complains about the camera crew.
No, Corbin complains.
Oh, sorry. Sammy complains about her to the camera crew because she's not counting on a hold spot, essentially, which is what happens. And then this causes Corbin to get caught. And then they beat each other up for a while. Montez is absolutely amazing. And I've noticed that in the background, on the Thunderdome, there's like this goth blonde chick. Right in this area here. She looks goth, but she's got super bright platinum hair in the background. I've seen her a lot in the background, okay? So I don't know if she's stock footage or if they just, someone in production likes to call her in when it's time to be on the show. But I see her a lot.
Maybe there's just not a lot of applications coming in.
So then Corbin gets thrown outside the ring, and the camera crew's filming him on super close tied up, and he goes, "Stop filming me! Get out of here! Stop filming me!" With about this much inflection that I just put into it. And then they fucking lose. Street Profits winner. I gave this 2 stars. It was fine. I mean, the match was super athletic. Montez is back. There was a point where he actually looked in the camera and said, "I'm back again," which was great. He cut his hair short.
The only thing I didn't like on this match was an announcer thing. When I was like, I think they should have gotten a rematch. I don't understand why they have to work their way back up. They should have absolutely been given a rematch.
Which is funny because they've been burying them in the fact that they need to have rematches the whole time. We're going to talk about the commentary crew in just a second. So, backstage, Daniel Bryan takes a gigantic shit on Edge. Edge then comes out and says, "Hey, that's not cool." And then I wrote down that Daniel Bryan and Edge might face each other at Fastlane now. That could be cool. Burn it down. Seth Rollins comes out. He talks about social media. Out comes Cesaro.
Why was Cesaro not wearing a shirt?
Because he's fucking sexy.
He comes out.
That's why.
He basically came down like jeans, barefoot with just a pair of jeans on. Like,
because
you caught me while I was dressing.
Because Cesaro was like, "I'm going to go talk to this man." I wrote down, why did we never get the Kings of Wrestling in WWE? And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Hunter hates Chris Hero and Vince hates Cesaro.
Right.
Because we know that there was the article that came out where Vince said that he did not like Claudio.
Right.
And that's the reason why that came out was because Claudio basically said, "I'm not doing the stupid shit that you're asking me to do." So that was pretty interesting. Seth recaps the history of Claudio that we've never seen because we don't watch Ring of Honor. We watch, WWE. He says, "Cesaro's a star. You're on the rise up. It's your time to break. And I want to be there to help you. I want you to become a star because I want you to be the guy, and I'll help you be the guy. The only thing you need to do is embrace the vision. Embrace the vision, and I will get you there, right?" And Cesaro goes, "Fuck you."
First he laughs at him.
He laughs at him, and then he says, "Fuck you," and then he nails him, and then he proceeds to do a spin, and Seth on the mic, he's got the microphone, he goes, "Put me down!" He goes, "You put me down!" And then he does the biggest swing ever. He killed Seth.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That was great.
like, if this clip is out there, go watch the spin because it's just.
So
it was awesome.
I was wrong. Cesaro is not turning heel.
He's not the master manipulator.
Nope.
He is full face now. He walks up right as Daniel Bryan's music hits. He's going up the entrance. Yeah, and he looks at DB and he's like, yeah.
And then as he's walking back, he's like, yep.
He's doing the yes, yes, yes. This was great.
Stop.
I love it.
I'm sorry. I had one more note. I forgot. Well, I'm going to rewind us all the way back to the beginning. Why is Roman responding to a fake crowd that's booing him? Okay. It reminded me because they were doing the yeses for the fake yes crowd. Anyway, so...
well, don't forget there was the whole point. There was the point where... Oh, wait, no, it's on Raw.
Yeah.
Where they piped in the Walk with Elias thing.
Yes,
There's no one there.
Right.
He stopped and did it. He goes, it stands for... And then you hear a fake crowd. So,
Daniel Bryan versus Jey Uso.
Okay, so this is where I want to talk about the announce team, okay? The announce team just shit the bed here, okay? So, we've talked about the fact that I can't tune out Cole and Graves.
Yes.
And I find that when I tune out Cole and Graves, I enjoy the show.
I can.
I can't hit mute either because I like to hear the impacts of things.
Oh, I do too.
Even though I hate the overpiped in staticky crowd noise and stuff, this is why I want to talk about this because the announce team starts over talking each other and they start recapping and then they start flipping between face and heel about what they're talking about. And this is where I had the revelation for SmackDown that everybody's probably been waiting on. I don't know so much how I can fault them because of the way they're being produced. And we always hear Vince is producing them, right? Every 3 minutes, it seems, they have to explain the show to everyone. They have to keep going back and talking about everything. Because for some reason, Vince thinks that new people are watching this show.
Every 5 minutes, somebody tunes in.
He's literally thinking that every 3 minutes, somebody has changed the channel and found wrestling, either come back to it or seen it for the first time and is starting to watch it, and he expects the announce team to re-explain everything, which is why they always overlap with the same shit.
That's why Dad...
But they can't keep it in track with each other. I'm sorry for cutting you off. They can't keep it in track with each other because they don't know who the face or the heel is, because at one point they're saying how Daniel Bryan fought through an Elimination Chamber match and then was immediately expected to fight Roman, and Corey is talking about the brutality of the match, but then Corey says, but Roman's the head of the table and he has to do this, and that. They can't figure it out because they have to say it over and over so many times in different ways to make the new people tuning in that Vince thinks is watching the show.
I have said this for many years, and I will say it again. Vince McMahon does not think we remember anything. We are goldfish.
I don't even know. No, I honestly don't think he's insulting the audience. I think he truly believes that new viewers are tuning in every few minutes.
And that's why we have to watch...
The story has to be recapped every 2.5 minutes.
And that's why we have to watch replays of something that happened 20 minutes ago.
That's why we have to see a replay of what just happened. That's why we have a picture-in-picture. That's why we have the commentary team constantly talking to us like we're invalids.
So, what did you think of the match?
This was a 3-star fucking match.
Yeah.
This was a damn good match. Bryan's knee is destroyed. That's the entire point of the story. It's still hurting from the Elimination Chamber. Jey keeps going on to it. He throws him into a table. He throws him into the ring post. He beats him pillar to post with it. The match goes to a double count out, which is fine because it keeps Bryan strong. It doesn't make Jey look weak like he failed. Bryan, unfortunately, snaps at the end of the match and goes to put Jey Uso in the yes lock just to hurt him. I didn't like that. I didn't think that made sense. And then Roman runs in, beats the shit out of Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan puts Roman in the yes lock, who then gets sidekicked in the head by Jey. Roman then kills Daniel Bryan some more. Show goes off the air. Why no Edge to run in and make the save? I thought that was going to happen. I thought somebody would get laid out, they would get laid out, and then, the little buddy, and then we were going to get back on track with the fast lane, Edge and Daniel Bryan versus Roman and Jey. Maybe that'll get flushed out in this coming week for what they're going to do. But overall, SmackDown was a damn good show, except for a couple little hiccups here and there. And honestly, since Would you say since the false booked Extreme Rules Adam Page section in the Survivor Series that SmackDown has consistently had probably the better show?
Yes, I will.
Yeah. So, Raw,